If you were elected or re-elected, and given the fact that the majority party in power controls the legislative process for allowing proposed laws to come to the floor of the Iowa House or Senate for a vote, what would be your top priority for the next legislative session that begins in January?
So just so everyone knows, I have kind of sold myself out to the anti-smart meter people. I did tell them that if elected, that is my first priority, and we're going to be issuing, 5 or 10 bills on how to make sure that people not only have a bona fide opt-out on the smart meter issue, but other things we can do to address that as well. So I have made that a very open and public promise that smart meters is my #1 priority. Number 2, I'm very interested in criminal justice. One thing I'm really proud of on the campaign is I've been able to work with our county attorney, Tim Dilley, and have identified very specific things we could do to improve our criminal justice system on how it relates to redeeming individuals, rather this kind of cycle of recidivism where people don't go to jail for being rehabilitated, but they go to jail to become better criminals. I think there's a lot of leadership I could provide on that. And then, of course, we need to drive healthcare costs down. I think that is probably going to be the #1 thing that the next legislature focuses on, is driving health care costs down. That being said, even if I'm in the minority party, I think there is a lot that a member of the minority party can do, not just in introducing bills, but really invoking the rules of the chamber, procedural things you can do, offering amendments to, even if you're in the minority party, you can really do a good deal to steer the conversation and make sure the voices of your constituents are heard. But those are a couple of my priorities, and of course, there's a lot of really important things. I imagine myself introducing 100, maybe 200 bills within the first few weeks of session.
Well, currently, our state government is controlled by one party. They control the House, the Senate, and the governor's office. They control every committee and every subcommittee. So right now, they can do pretty much what they want to. The debate is amongst themselves. I think that if that were to change and I were to be in the majority party, I would say right off the bat, I would like to talk about education funding, the supplemental state aid for next year, and get that set so that our school districts have something to go on and plan their budgets that are due in March. And I will say this too, I would like the process to be very open, and that we share the discussion with both parties, and that we're bipartisan, and that we don't do things behind closed doors. And we take time and we discuss things, and we make sure that everybody understands what we're trying to do and come together as a consensus. But I would put the first priority as setting our supplemental state aid for education for next year within the first 2 weeks of January.